Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone and Ruwell, as well as Teachwell. And also peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And the title of this video is going to be Millions of Americans Will Lose Their Jobs, Their Minds, and Their Lives in 2024. Okay? And as you can see, I have here on the screen, this is an article from Newsweek.com. As you can see from the title of it, it says, Millions of Americans to Lose Their Jobs in 2024. All right, and this article came out on December 15th, 2023. All right, and as it goes into in the article, it says, a Congressional Budget Office, CBO, all right, a Congressional Budget Office, also known as the CBO, report on Friday forecasts a rise in U.S. unemployment from the current 3.9% to 4.4% by the end of 2024. It says, signaling potential job losses for millions amidst a contracting gross domestic product. All right, then it goes on to say, the projected increase in unemployment affecting an estimated 7.4 million Americans within the workforce will come amidst economic adjustments and policy shifts. The CBO said in its current view of the economy from 2023 to 2025 report. All right, and then it goes on to the rest of the article, which you can check out on your own. Yeah, but basically, the main point is that it's going to, millions of Americans are projected to lose their jobs going in the year 2024. All right, and what's interesting about this is that while at the same time, these economists and whatnot are projecting these things. All right, you have a mass outbreaks of pneumonia and different diseases, spreading throughout China and parts of the U.S. All right, as this article right here is getting ready to come up on the screen. All right, this is an article from AMA, which I believe this stands for American Medical Association. All right, .org. It says rising, all right, C19 CVID cases, China pneumonia outbreak, and free C19 treatment with Andrea Garcia, JD, PH. All right, yeah, and that's basically what's going on right now, over there in China and as well across the United States. You're seeing a rise of if you've been keeping up with the news and current events and whatnot, you've been seeing the news talking about a rise in C19 cases once again. All right, along with this outbreaks of pneumonia spreading among children and whatnot. All right, and it's basically looking like 2024 is going to be a repeat of 2020. All right, back when you had the CVID, all right, the C19 spreading out there in China, then eventually made its way over here to the United States, and then ultimately it led to what? A nationwide, all right, shutdowns. Schools were shut down, playgrounds were shut down, public events and public places were shut down. Restaurants, gyms, theaters, okay, parks, and even certain jobs had to shut down. Businesses had to shut down. All right, and not to mention back in 2020, due to all the C19 cases going up and all the different shutdowns across the states, you also had what going on? A rise in unemployment. People getting laid off from their jobs, people losing their jobs. Okay, various ports around the country having to lay off their employees, which put a stop to various goods making it to stores across America. All right, and here it is, as this article from Newsweek.com goes into millions of Americans to lose their jobs in 2024, while at the same time you also have a rise in C-19 cases going up. All right, and pneumonia spreading throughout China and throughout the U.S. and whatnot. It's very well looking like it's going to be a repeat of 2020 going into the year 2024. All right, the second a second shutdown. All right, because even this guy, I remember back in 2020 or 2021, this guy, the Gates of Hell, he did one particular interview where he talked about, basically the first shutdown didn't get people's attention, but the next or the second shutdown is going to get people's attention. So showing you that these elites on the left hand side, all right, the first C-19 outbreak and the shutdowns and all of that back in 2020, and then the next outbreak and shutdowns is going to be take place possibly in 2024 and going beyond. This is ultimately all planned out by the elites on the left hand side, which is ultimately all the plans of Yahweh Bashim Shai at the end of the day, because all these things are prophecy. Okay, but the Lord is using the elites on the left hand side, all right, the elite banking families of Esau, Edom, to make these things happen. All right, all these things are planned out. All right, the outbreak, the shutdowns, the mass unemployment. Okay, the economic collapse, the dollar collapse. All these things are coming down the pipe in 2024 and beyond, because ultimately these elites on the left hand side, their whole agenda is to establish the NWO agenda. All right. Matter of fact, let's get the scriptures. Their end goal is to establish the NWO agenda. All right, but in order to establish that, a new world, right? They have to collapse or destroy the old world. All right, and bring forth basically a reset, a digital reset. This is Revelation 13. All right, going into the beast from the earth, right? The beast that exercised the power of all the first beasts that was before it. All right, the first beast. When you go into the chapter, it's talking about that ancient Greco-Roman system. All right, and then the beast from the earth, as it goes into verse 11 on down, it's talking about America. All right, America along with NATO and the EU, because America will be as well as NATO and the EU is the revival of the fourth beast system spoken of in Daniel 7. Okay, and this beast that you read in Revelation 13 is the same fourth beast that you read of in Daniel 7. Okay, which is the ancient Western Roman Empire, and as well the revival of that ancient Western Roman system. Okay, which is the revival of it. All right, started because the ancient Western Roman Empire, it fell in 476 A.D. and then ultimately it didn't come back into power until 1,000 years later during the Renaissance in the 1400s. Okay, which which led to that deadly wound being healed. All right, as it speaks of in verse 14 right here, Revelation 13. Okay, and since the Renaissance, when Esau came out of the caves, all right, he started taking over parts of Europe, and then eventually came over here to the so-called Americas. All right, all that led up to here to what we see here today. All right, America, NATO, and the EU, which is the revival of that ancient Western Roman system. All right, but this is Revelation 13, verse. I'm gonna start at 14. It says, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, science, technology, pseudoscience." Okay, it says, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So the whole entire purpose of America, NATO, and the EU is to revive that ancient Western Roman system, that Greco-Roman system, and to create an image of the beast. All right, that ancient Roman system, which goes into what? All right, that image going into what? How America, NATO, and the EU would basically model itself after the ancient Greco-Roman system. All right, and how do we see America modeling itself after that ancient Roman system? All right, but looking at the architecture, okay, the Senate, all right, the Constitution, the Capitol building, stadiums, coliseums, and arenas. That's all across this place. Okay, the teaching of Roman numerals in the school system. All right, shopping malls, fast food. All right, and all those things are just to name a few. Those are just a few examples of how America, along with NATO and the EU, has modeled itself after the ancient Western Roman system. All right, it made itself into the image of that ancient Western Roman system. All right, so which was wounded by the sword but did live. All right, it was wounded in 476 A.D. when ancient Rome fell, but then eventually it lived again during the Renaissance. Okay, was the word Renaissance means what? Rebirth. Okay, the rebirth of what? That ancient Western Roman system. All right, and of course that revival. Well, the ancient Greco-Roman system was ran by none other than the Edomites, the biblical Edomites. Okay, just like America, NATO, and the EU, all right, is ran by the Edomites today. All right, okay, to revive their rulership all over again. But it says, verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak. All right, and how is that ancient Greco-Roman system speaking in present day America? All right, through his Senate, his architecture, his certain laws in his country are in Latin. Okay, Roman numerals taught in the school system. The stadiums and the coliseums and arenas are in this place. All right, that's how the image of the beast is speaking. And it says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's the NWO agenda right there. And that's the direction that the elites are going. They're getting ready to establish their NWO system. All right, and cause that as many as would that refuse to bow the knee to their system, okay, the NWO system, to be killed. All right, and as the apostles and elder brothers always going to, this word killed, this word killed all right, this word killed,
Strong's G 615, apartino, apartino.
and it goes into physical death, to kill in any way, whatever, to destroy, to allow to perish, to inflict mortal death. All right, and which that there are Esau is going to pass laws to actually have people physically put to death for not conforming to their NWO system. All right, and even certain of the elect are going to have to be undergo death and be beheaded. All right, for the gospel's sake, for not bowing the knee to the image of this system. Okay, pursuant to Revelation the 20th chapter. All right, but now when you go into the root word of this word killed, it says apo, which means what? Of separation, of local separation. All right, then it says of separation of apart from the whole. Then it goes into right here in the definition C of any kind of separation of one thing from another by which the union or fellowship of the two is destroyed. Okay, so the elite, all right, they're establishing the image of this beast system, all right, by going forward with their NWO agenda, all right, and basically they're going to pass draconian measures and unrighteous decrees to where those that refuse to conform and bow the knee to the system, they're going to pass laws to have them killed, all right, whether it be having them physically killed or just separating them from the system, all right, not allowing people to work, okay, and go to and fro and handle particular business within the NWO system, all right. Separation, right? And then as it continues goes on, verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay? So ultimately, they're going to force you to bow the knee to the system by forcing you to take a charagma. All right? Rich and poor, all right, free and bond, small and great, you name it. All right, they're gonna force the whole world to tempt the whole world into taking this a charagma, okay, which is the CHIP. All right, the RFID CHIP. All right, that you won't be able to buy or sell unless you take this charagma. All right, and we know that the charagma is going to be for more than just buying and selling. Ultimately, Esau is gonna use this charagma as a tool of control, to control your mind, to control your thoughts, to basically control your life. Okay, to control where you can travel, how far you can travel. All right, how much money you can make in one day, how much you can eat in one day. All right, and man, hey, this devil is going all the way. All right, and by basically destroying the economy to where millions of people in this country are going to be losing their jobs. That's basically going to have people, when all hell breaks loose, it's basically going to have people on their knees begging for this charagma. All right, when Esau pushes it forth. Okay. Now, let's go to Isaiah 19. All right, because mass layoffs and mass unemployment, and millions of people losing their jobs in this country and things like that. All right, that's spoken of in prophecy in the scriptures in the Holy Bible. All right, and we're gonna read it. Okay, it's Isaiah 19. All right, because in Isaiah the 19th chapter, it speaks about Egypt, right? This whole entire chapter speaks about speaks prophetically about Egypt, right? But the Egypt in this chapter is not talking about ancient Egypt, but instead it's talking about the modern day spiritual Egypt. Okay? Matter of fact, let's get Revelation 11 and 8. 11 and 8. All right, just to prove that in prophecy there will be a spiritual Egypt. Okay? Revelation chapter 11 verse 8 says, "And a dead body shall lie in the street of the great city." All right, the dead bodies representing what? Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans being in a dead state. All right, both physically and as well as spiritually. Being spiritually dead. Not knowing who they are as a people, not knowing their power, not knowing the true names of the Heavenly Father and His begotten Son. All right, not knowing righteousness, not knowing order. Okay, not knowing the ways of salvation. All right. That's what you see the state of our people in right now. They're dead, both physically as well as mentally and spiritually. All right, in the street of the great city. What is the great city? Babylon the Great. Okay, which is the United States of America. Which in this verse, as it says, which spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt. Okay, so America, Babylon the Great, according to prophecy, according to what we're reading right here in Revelation, is also spiritually known as Sodom in Egypt. And of course, why is America known as Sodom? All right, look at all the alphabetic activity going on in this place. All right, men with men, women with women, Men chopping their rods off, turning themselves into women. Women running around trying to be men. Okay. Wearing strap-ons and shit. Okay. As well as bestiality and pedo activity going on all across this place. All right, we're in Sodom and Gomorrah all over again, spiritually, and as it says, and spiritually called Egypt. All right, why is this place spiritually called Egypt? Because the Israelites are in captivity in this place for 400 plus years. All right, then you also have the various cities across America that has pyramids, such as Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, Memphis, Tennessee. All right, you have pyramids in this place. Okay, and not to mention when you look on the back of your $1 bill, you see what? A pyramid. Okay, a pyramid with Novos Ordo Seclorum on it. Okay, which Novos Ordo Seclorum, that's Latin. All right, that's Latin, which stands for basically New Order of Ages. All right, so showing you on the back of their dollar bill, the elites showing you that they want to eventually establish, a new world, okay, order. All right, new order of ages. All right, but on the back of that dollar bill, you see a pyramid, which goes back to what? Ancient Egypt. All right, and not to mention, you have various things across America that relates it to ancient Egypt. The red, white, and blue. All right, that goes back to ancient Egypt. All right, women having rights in various positions of authority. Okay, you had that, in ancient Egypt as well. Women having all types of rights and freedoms and being, sitting on the throne as pharaohs and empresses and this, that, and the third. All right, that's all happening again here in America. All right, and it says where also our Lord was crucified. And how was Yahushua spiritually crucified in America? All right, they've crucified Yahushua through his pharmakeia. Okay, his medicine practices, healing practices. Okay, which is all based on pseudoscience and technology. They crucified Yahushua by basically crucifying truth, crucifying morals, crucifying righteousness, crucifying manhood, all right, crucifying order, all right, crucifying the belief of a higher power and the fear of the Lord. Those are just various ways where this place has spiritually crucified our Lord Yahushua. And that's why Yahushua, when he comes back, all right, the main places Yahushua is looking to take down when he comes back is America, Babylon the Great. Okay. So that's just that scripture right there, Revelation 11 verse 8, was to prove that America would be spiritually known as Egypt as well as Sodom. So when we go back to Isaiah 19, which prophetically talks about Egypt, is ultimately talking about America. Okay, Isaiah 19 verse 14, it says the Lord Yahweh hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. Okay, so the Lord has mingled a perverse spirit in the midst of this modern day spiritual Egypt in these latter days. And this word perverse, let's look it up. It says Strong's H5773 says Iliam, it says distorting, perverting, warping. All right, distorting, perverting, warping. Let's see what the root word says. All right, the root word, Strong's H5753, Salakim. Let me read that. Okay, let's go back to the first word, Strong's H5773. I Iwayim. Okay, so it's Iwayim. Strong's H5773. That's the word for perverse in Isaiah 19 and 14. Okay, Iwayim. All right, which means distorting, perverting, warping. Then the root word, All right, Strong's H5753, Iwa, Iwa, and it says to bend, twist, distort, okay, be twisted, perverted. It says right here to commit iniquity, do wrong, pervert. All right, so basically the Lord has mingled his spirit in this modern day spiritual Egypt to be perverse, meaning what? That iniquity would be abound. You know, sin would be abound in these latter days, and primarily here in America, Babylon the Great, this spiritual Egypt. All right, and when you look throughout America, that's all you see. Okay, when you look on social media, you look on TikTok and all these other social media platforms. All right, when you go to the grocery store or go pump gas at your gas station, and help, even for us brothers that teach the word on the highways and the byways, every weekend when we're on the block preaching the word, all right, all you see is nothing but perverseness and sick, twisted behavior by these Babylonians, these Americans, okay, just boasting in their iniquities and their rebellion against Yahweh Shemel Shai. All you see is these men walking around being a bunch of sodomites and being a bunch of betas to these women. These women just walking around half dressed, okay, showing off skin everywhere, twerking. All right, Eve just being a damn disgrace, okay, twerking everywhere with her tongue stuck out, tattoos all over her body. These men out here being a bunch of sodomites. These niggas walking around with they pants sagging with tats all over their bodies, okay, long ass nappy dreadlocks looking crazy as hell, smoking. All right, these Edomites out here, looking terrible, sick, smoking cigarettes. All right, shaped bad. You know, it's a perverse spirit in the midst of this place. Okay, sick, twisted, and distorted. Just completely off against Yahweh Shemel Shai. And it says, Isaiah 19, verse 14, the Lord Yahweh hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof. Yeah, everything in this place is in complete error. Okay, the government, these politicians are corrupt. The president is corrupt. Okay, the money is corrupt. The food is corrupt. The school system is corrupt. Sports are all corrupt. All right, the entertainment, Hollywood, music is corrupt. All right, men and women are corrupt. Children are being corrupted. All right, everything, every work in this place is in complete error. All right, due to this wicked rulership that's ruling. All right, the rulership and the blessing of Esau Edom. Okay, it says, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Yeah, everybody in this place is drunken off of the wine of the wrath of Babylon the Great. Okay, this pseudoscience, technology, this anti-Messiah energy, this anti-Messiah behavior has everybody morally and spiritually drunken. Okay, as well as physically. But it says, verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So you see that? So here in prophecy, it says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt. Okay, the modern day spiritual Egypt, whether it be the head, the tail, the branch, or the rush. All right, the head and the tail basically meaning what? Both the small and great of this place, the rich and poor of this place. All right, the bond or the free of this place. Basically, any and everybody in this place, all right, is going to, eventually lose their livelihoods, their jobs, their occupations and whatnot, whatever little business they have. Okay, because the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, through the elites on the left-hand side, is systematically shutting this place down. All right, and getting this place ready for an NWO system. All right, which is all going to be based on, putting your basically your soul, your mind, your identity on one big digital grid. All right, with the use of AI and things like that, and ultimately linking you to a digital grid by way of sticking a charagma in your right hand or your forehead. Okay, and that charagma, these devils are going to use that charagma to basically dictate how you live. All right, what you eat, what you can't eat, how far you can travel, how much money you can make at a time. All right, how you go about your daily lives. All right, even down to your very thoughts. They're gonna be able to have control over your thoughts. All right, but this word work, neither shall there be any work for Egypt. This word work says Strong's H4639 says my Shah, my Shah. It says deed, work, work, labor. All right, business, pursuit, enterprise, achievement. All right, product. All right, work. Which goes into labor. Business, enterprise. So, the fact that millions of Americans are going to lose their jobs in 2024, going beyond. All right, that's prophecy. We're reading about it right now. All right, the Lord is going to basically shut down the workforce of America. All right, and we saw a small, prelude of that back in 2020 when the C-19 outbreak was happening. You had all these shutdowns across the country and around the world. People were getting laid off, losing their jobs left and right by the millions. All right, having to file for unemployment claims and receive stimulus checks and things like that. Well, guess what? All right, Lord willing, all right, there's going to be another shutdown in 2024. It's going to be worse than it was back in 2020 because all these people that's going to be losing their jobs. Well, hey, this time around, it ain't going to be no unemployment waiting for them or any extra stimulus with the unemployment. Okay, there's not going to be no stimulus check coming in every 2-3 months or whatever. It ain't gonna be none of that. All right, people are going to be absolutely through. All right, when things like this come to pass. Okay, losing their jobs by the millions. All right, and let's go to Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." All right, and the grinders cease because they are few. This word grinders. All right, this word grinders, Strong's H2912 says tachan. Tachan says to grind, crush. Then it says in the Strong's definition, to grind meal, hence to be a concubine, that by their employment. Okay, that by their employment. So this word grinders, all right, the grinders ceasing basically goes into employment, meaning what? All right, the employment is going to drop. All right, the unemployment rate is going to go up. The grinding and the working and all the labor in this country is going to cease. People are going to be losing their jobs, and as it says, the middle part of verse 3 again, and the grinders cease because there are few. Yeah, meaning what? Few people still having jobs. As we go forward with prophecy. All right, and when you've been looking around the country lately, you've been seeing like various banks across the country laying off their employees. Okay, various tech companies laying off their employees. All right, even packing and shipping places such as Amazon and the post office and whatnot, laying off hundreds of employees in the midst of this so-called holiday season. All right, and a lot of that is going to lead to robots and AI taking over those various positions and whatnot. All right, but the grinding is already being ceased in different aspects of the society, and it's going to be seized even more, as the elites, you know, continue to bring down the economy, and devalue the dollar, okay, because they need, all right, they need a great, reset, okay, in order for them to go forward with their NWO agenda, all right, and issue out a digital currency, which is ultimately going to lead to that charagma, all right. So, verse 4, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 4, and the door shall be shut in the streets. Okay, what is that talking about? Lockdowns, shutdowns. We saw that back in 2020, and we're going to see that again, possibly in 2024. It says, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Sound of the grinding is low, meaning what? Low employment. All right, mass unemployment. Okay, it says, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be low. And the daughters of music shall be low. Which explains why the music these days is so horrible. The rap music, the R&B, all the music of the society, okay, is at an all-time low. Ultimately, because Yahweh Shemashah is bringing it low. And we just read it right here in prophecy, okay? But nonetheless, all right, the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. So once again, another prophecy showing you that, okay, another prophecy in the Bible speaking of, all right, mass unemployments, okay, mass layoffs, people losing their jobs left and right, okay. Now, let's get this in Sirach. Sirach 34. So okay. Make this bigger. This is Sirach 34 and 21. It says, the bread of the needy is their life. All right, the bread, which bread is symbolic of food, not just bread alone, but, bread as in food, right? The bread or the food of the needy is their life. It says, he that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood. All right. He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder. Okay, so when you take away a man's living, such as what? His job, his occupation, his what he does for a living, then you basically liken to a murderer. You basically slaying that person because you're taking away that person's livelihood. Obviously, people work to do what? To make money. And why do people need to make money? To take care of themselves and take care of their families. To put food in their stomach, to put food in their children's stomach, to keep a roof over their head, clothes on their backs, all right, to be able to afford transportation, and other essential needs, the internet and whatnot, phones, computers, whatever the case may be. So when you take away a man's living, such as his job, his occupation, then you're basically murdering that person, because now that person can't make the money that they need to afford food and clothes and transportation and essential resources and things like that. All right, and by these elites ultimately bringing down the economy to cause millions of people to lose their jobs. That's essentially the elites, putting these people, okay, in a position to die, in a position to, basically, be helpless and defenseless in this society. All right. And of course, we know these elites, they don't give a damn, because, these elites don't give a damn about the average person in society, especially the average Israelite, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, because, being poor and destitute and on your knees begging them for bread and solutions and things like that, that's exactly where they want you to be at. That's exactly where they want the average person to be at, okay, depending on them for a solution. Well, we know very soon, according to what we just read in Revelation 13, that the solution these devils are going to come with is that charagma. All right. The scripture says, the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. All right. You know, these devils don't have any mercy on the average person in the society, especially the middle class. Because going back to 2020, right, when they had all those shutdowns and businesses and stores were being locked up. Okay, restaurants and whatnot. People losing their jobs and getting laid off from their jobs and whatnot. That struck a big blow to the middle class. The middle class, and that's what all those shutdowns were all about. Putting strain on the middle class, causing small businesses to lock up. Causing people to lose their jobs. All right, it basically brought millions of people in the country at that time down to their knees. Having to depend on unemployment and stimulus checks and stimulus payments and whatnot. All right, not being able to work and earn their wages. It put people in a state of dependency. All right, and as we just read, Sirach 34:22, he that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defrauded the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder. All right, so these devils, they want to take away the living of everybody on the earth. Okay, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. All right, they want to take away your living and bring you to a state of dependence. All right, having to look to them as God and look to them as a savior in their technology and their charagma. All right, and guess what? When people are going to be left without bread and essential resources and things like that, due to them losing their jobs, it's going to lead to people being in a state of perplexity. All right, as Yahushua spoke of in Luke the 21st chapter. Let's get that. This is Luke chapter 21. Luke chapter 21, verse 25. This Yahushua is speaking red letter. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth the stress of nations. All right, upon the earth the stress of nations. And what's going to cause the nations to be in distress in these latter days? It says with perplexity. All right, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. All right, and the sea and the waves, we see various natural disasters and weather effects happening throughout the earth, okay, and whatnot. But also the sea and the waves also symbolic of the people, okay. This the people roaring, all right, being in an uproar, mass protests and mass civil unrest and things like that, okay. We saw that back in 2020, when people were in an uproar protesting against the mask and protesting against being laid off from their jobs and whatnot, and as well the whole George Floyd situation, the Breonna Taylor, and all those other shootings that took place in 2020, But hey, when these next shutdowns come, people are going to be in even more of an uproar. All right, people's freedoms are going to be taken away. Their liberties, their rights are going to be taken away. All right, and people are going to be told to get back in the house once again. All right, but the main point in this verse, Yahushua said there's going to be perplexity. All right, the nations are going to be in distress. All right, through perplexity, and as we always bring out, this word perplexity. All right, perplexity, Strong's G640, aporia, and it says the state of one who is in perplexity. All right, well, when you go to the root word, Strong's G 639, aporio, aporio, and it says to be without resources. See that? To be without resources. So what's going to have these nations in distress and the people in an uproar, okay, is that they're going to be without resources, you know, due to mass unemployment, okay, due to second lockdowns and whatnot. All right, their rights being taken away, their access to resources being taken away, okay, not being able to travel freely like they want to. All right, gas shortages, all right, cyber attacks, blackouts, all these different things. People are going to be left without resources. Okay, it says to be in straits, to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt, not to know which way to turn. Yep, and that's it, again. This is the exact condition that the elites want people to to be in as they go forward with their NWO agenda. All right, because as a matter of fact, let's go back to Revelation 13 and 16 again, real quick. Revelation 13 and 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, says he causeth all, right? And let's go into this word causeth.
Strong's G 4160. Poieo. Poieo.
It says to make. All right, to make. It says to right here in the sea, to make ready, prepare. It says let's see. And it says right here to make, i.e., declare one anything. So they're going to declare people to receive their charagma in their right hand or on their forehead. Okay, they're going to cause it, right? All right, yeah. So they're going to cause people to to take their charagma. And what's going to be one of the main things is going to cause people to bow the knee and take their charagma. All right, they're going to be in a state of perplexity. They're going to be without resources. And so people, when they're going to be in this condition and they're going to see Esau, issuing forth their charagma, all right, they're basically going to be thinking in their heads, look, the only way to for our lives to, so say, go back to normal and have access to food and resources and things like that is that we got to take that charagma. That's going to be the mindset of people when these times come. Okay, they're not going to know which way to turn, and basically people are going to be under the impression that the only way to turn for their lives to continue is take that charagma. And that's how Esau's going to cause people to take it. He's going to put people in straits, in positions of difficulty. All right, and play off of people's emotions and play off of their flesh. You see, so this back to this word perplexity. It says to be at loss with oneself, be in doubt. All right, yeah, people are going to be losing their minds. So due to people losing their jobs by the millions, it's going to cause people to lose their minds, to be in a state of perplexity. All right, being without resources and without comforts and without access to resources and abundance of luxuries that people are used to right now is going to cause people to basically to be at loss with themselves, to lose their minds, all right, to lose their marbles, like they say in the world. All right, then it says right here, not to know how to decide or what to do, to be perplexed. All right, so when these times come, when people are going to be in straits and not have access to food and resources and things like that, it's going to cause people, all right, to be at loss with themselves, to lose their damn minds. All right, to lose all morals, to lose all sanity, okay, to lose self-control, all right, and blow their tops. And when people are going to be in that mindset, it's going to lead to Second Ezra the 15th chapter, as the apostles and elder brothers on down to the least of us, We always go into this chapter. All right. Second Ezra 15 and Second Ezra 15, man, and 14 it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." Yep, all out division, all out civil unrest, all out, you know, man, basically purge like scenarios. When you watch the movie The Purge, people are going around committing murder and stealing from each other. Okay, doing all types of wicked, inhumane acts. Well, guess what? When millions of people across this country are going to be losing their jobs and their livelihoods, and not being able to make money to, provide for themselves and provide for their families, this is what it's going to lead to. Okay, verse 15 again. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. It's going to lead to people, all right, bringing forth, chaos. All out civil unrest. All right, civil war across this country. All right, people losing their minds, people not trusting each other. All right, it's basically going to be a dog eat dog world out here when people's comforts and luxuries get taken away from them, as well as their livelihoods. It says, and it's going to get so bad to where it's going to lead to this, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So, so people are going to be losing it so much, so where they're even going to be bucking up against their politicians and their leaders in their own government. Okay, which is going to cause the powers that be to issue forth martial law. Okay, because all these things that we're reading of right here, Yahweh Shema Shai is going to make all these things happen to fulfill his word, to fulfill prophecy, but he's going to use the elites of Esau Edom on the left hand side to make these things happen. All right, because all these things, the mass unemployment, civil unrest, okay, the sedition that we're reading of right here, all these things are going to be orchestrated by Esau Edom through the will of the Lord. Okay, people are going to be bucking up against their government and their leaders and their politicians and whatnot. And when that happens, that's going to justify Esau issuing forth martial law to bring forth his order out of all of the chaos that's going to be going on in the earth. All right. And it says, when you jump down to verse 19, matter of fact, I'll just continue reading. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right, yeah, because there's going to be checkpoints all throughout cities. All right, military checkpoints. You're not going to be able to just travel to and fro like you want to when all hell breaks loose. No. Okay, there's going to be military checkpoints across the country, or to see whether or not you're carrying in any weapons, or if you or whoever is riding with you have any type of sickness in them. Okay, and if they do find any sickness within you or whoever's riding with you, then immediately they're going to have you get out of your car, and they're basically going to haul you off and bring you to a quarantine camp. All right, a quarantine camp. So traveling is going to be off limits when all hell breaks loose. All right, it says, verse 18, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Yep, all these cities, man, when all hell breaks loose, being in the city is not going to be safe to be at when this time comes. All right, if you're in the city, you could be catching hell. Whether it be a man or a woman, especially if you're a woman. Because like Apostle Gabar always goes into, cities were basically created for women. That's why you have the term metropolis. Okay, metro, which basically goes back to the Latin, meaning woman or mother. All right, and tropolis I believe polis is also Greek or Latin for city, basically meaning city. So metropolis basically meaning city for the woman. All right, and that's when you look at the way cities are laid out. Okay, everything is blocks apart. Food stores. Okay, food stores, gyms, gas stations, restaurants. All right, places to get your hair done, places to get your nails done. This, that, and the third done. All right, these things are created. These cities, the way cities are laid out, is for convenience. All right, and that's what women like. They like convenience. They like things to be easy and comfortable. All right, and quick. And that they're and easy easy to be accessible. Well, guess what? Like it says right here in verse 18 again, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right, all these little comforts and access and luxuries that women have in the society, it's all going to be, all right, troubled, as it just said, and it's ultimately going to be destroyed because these cities, okay, are going to be the worst places to be in when all hell breaks loose. All right, as it says, men shall be afraid. Okay, so if men are going to be afraid when these things happen, then how much more women, as well as children, especially women with children. These single mothers out here, these baby mamas and whatnot. These Eves that have all these damn children with no man around. All right, they're gonna be through. You see, but it says, verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Okay, people are going to be breaking into their neighbors' houses, okay, with guns and weapons and whatnot. All right, putting to death the people that's in that house, all for what? And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, people are going to be breaking into other people's houses, trying to steal their food and their resources and their goods. Okay, because of what? Because going back to what Yahushua said in Luke 21 and 25, there's going to be distress of nations and perplexity. All right, people aren't going to have resources and food and water and medicines and things like that. So when those things happen, people are going to be at loss with themselves. They're going to lose their mind to the point to where they're going to be breaking into their neighbors' houses to find food and water and resources. All right, and it's going to all lead to civil unrest. Okay, one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. Guns, automatic guns, semi-automatic guns, pistols, machine guns, rifles, things like that. All right, hey, it's gonna be all out chaos in this place. All right, so people are gonna be losing their jobs as well as losing their damn minds when that time comes. All right, and also not to mention, let's get this as well. Because what we're reading right here in 2 Genesis 15, people coming up against their leaders and their government, all because of lack of bread and tribulation and things like that. That's also prophesied in the book of Job, the 20th chapter. All right, this is Job chapter 20 and verse 22. All right, speaking of the wicked in this chapter, right? As it says right here, the subheading, the triumph of the wicked is short. Okay, in which that's quoting from verse 5 in this chapter, Job 20 and 5, that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. All right, yeah. And these elites of Esau, Edom, they know this very well. That's why they know, okay, that's why they're getting ready to come down with great wrath and try to establish their NWO agenda, okay, because they know that they have but a short time left. They know that they have only but a moment left to rule in their blessing. You see, because all they've been doing was spreading nothing but wickedness throughout the earth. All right. So jumping down in this chapter, Job 20 and 22 says, "In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits." All right, in the fullness of the elites of Esau Edom, all right, the elites of Esau Edom in the fullness of their sufficiency, which was going to be the fullness of their sufficiency, their NWO, all right, the fourth industrial revolution, where they want to link man with the machine, man with technology, all right, and how are they going to seek to do that? Through the charagma. All right, that's going to be the fullness of their sufficiency, their NWO agenda. But as it says right here, in the fullness of their sufficiency, they're going to be in straits. All right, they're going to be in straits. Was that word straits? Is Strong's H3334 Yatazar, and it means what? To bind, be distressed, be in distress, be cramped, be narrow, okay, be scant, be in straits, cause distress. All right. So in the fullness of them rolling out their NWO agenda, they're going to be in a position of difficulty. All right. The Lord is basically going to throw a monkey wrench in their plans. All right. And what's going to have them in straits in the fullness of their sufficiency? It says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So what's going to have these devils in straits when the NWO system is established is that every hand of the wicked is going to basically rise up against him and rebel against him. All right, perform sedition against them. Okay, which, as we always bring out, this word wicked in Job 20 and 20 verse 22, this word wicked, Strong's H6001, I maul, and it means what? Laborer, sufferer, wretched one, laborer, workman, okay, toiling. You see that? So that's what's gonna have these elites in straits when they roll out their fourth industry system, their NWO system. Okay, these regular everyday working class, okay, working class, middle class, so-called Americans are going to be the main ones rising up against them and bucking up against them and rebelling against them and causing that sedition. Okay, because hey, you best believe, going back to the title of this article, right? Millions of Americans to lose their jobs in 2024. Hey, that's gonna backfire against these devils. Okay, that's gonna backfire them against them big time, because it's gonna lead to what we've been reading right here in prophecy. All right, sedition. They should not regard their kings nor their princes. Civil unrest. Okay, all the way down to what we're reading right here in Job 20 and 24. They're gonna be had in straits. All right, in the fullness of their system, the NWO system, because every hand of the laborer, the workman, all right, the working class, the middle class, is going to rise up against them. All right, so these regular two-time loser American Edomites and whatnot, these people that's going to be losing their jobs and getting laid off from their jobs due to this failing economy. All right, it's going to cause people to lose their damn minds. Civil unrest. People are going to be fighting and offing each other, all for bread and resources and things to take care of their children and their families and whatnot. It's going to cause all out chaos to this society. All right, and it's even going to put a strain on the elites, as we just read. So these are the things coming down the pipe going forward into 2024. But hey, we that's of the hopeful elect, all right, we have hope and comfort in the scriptures, because ultimately we know that when these things come to pass, that Yahweh Shem Shai is going to be with us. Okay, let's go to Habakkuk, this second chapter. Get a few more scriptures and close it out. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, and start at verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. All right, the vision referring to what? Prophecy, divine oracles, okay, the will of the Lord. It says, For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. And the end is very much speaking in his latter days. It's hell. Like we read in right here in 2nd Ezra 15 verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Okay, this world, this society, Esau Edom's world that is on its way down and is on its way out. Okay? So the end is very much speaking in his latter days. All right, it's speaking first and foremost through the prophets being raised up. All right, the prophets, the apostles, the elders, on down to the least of us of the hopeful elect. We're speaking these visions and these oracles and these prophecies of Yahweh Shem Shai into existence and not lying. Okay, and through us speaking these things into the earth, they're coming to pass. Okay, faster and faster. It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. All right. So the word of the Lord will surely come. All these end time prophecies, all these things coming down the pipe, it will surely come. The scripture says we have a sure word of prophecy. It says, verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up in him is not upright in him. All right. And whose soul is lifted up in him that's not upright? Esau Edom, especially primarily their elites. Their elite banking families, their top banking families. All right. Their souls are lifted up at an all-time high through their science, their technology, okay, their wealth, their riches and whatnot, their ability to buy up all this land and destroy the food and whatnot. Okay, their souls are lifted up in them, but their souls are not upright. Okay, because their souls are lifted up to do the working of Satan. All right, pursuant to 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. But it says, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay, so this devil, mainly his elites, are lifted up. Their hearts are lifted up at an all-time high. Okay, going forward with their NWO agenda. But as it says, the just shall live by his faith. All right, because in the midst of all these Americans, millions of Americans possibly losing their jobs in the upcoming year, you best believe the elect are going to be in the midst of that. Okay, those of us of the hopeful elect. All right, but hey, ultimately, when these things come upon us, and we're going to have to lose jobs and lose particular comforts and lose this, that, and the third. Okay, we're not going to ultimately be in a state of perplexity, because we know that we're going to have Yahweh Shema Shai to take care of us and give us provision when this time come. We're not going to have to make haste when that day come. All right, and lose our minds and resort to bowing the knee and taking that charagma when these times come. All right, because we know that we have a sure word of prophecy, and that the Lord is going to be with us when that time comes. Like it just said, the just shall live by his faith. Our faith in Yahweh Shema Shai, and us detaching from our jobs and these comforts of the world and clinging on to the word of Yahweh Shema Shai, these things are going to be our stability when these times come. You see, when Esau rolls out his NWO agenda, it says, verse 5, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, speaking about Esau Edom again, right? He transgressed by wine, by different philosophies and pseudoscience and false history. Okay, he transgresses by all these idols that he summons up to go forward with this agenda. All right, he transgresses by all these enchantments that he pushes upon the people. It says, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Okay, always all over the damn place, all over the earth, creating all these wars, stealing resources, or trying to control resources to forward his wicked agendas. All right, it says, bombing, rape, robbing, and murdering and bombing all over the place. It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. So this man is death. All right. Ever since this man came out of the caves during the so-called Renaissance period, all he spread throughout the earth since that period up until now was nothing but death. Okay, lies, false religion, false policies. Okay, you know, pseudoscience, false education. Just everything about this man has always been established off of falsehood and deceit. All right, he enlarges his desire as hell, and he is as death. All right, this man brings forth nothing but death wherever he goes throughout the earth. All right, and that's why the society and the earth itself is in the state that it's in right now. All right, defiled by the inhabitants thereof. Okay, no order, no light, and the light is as darkness, like it says in Job 10. All right, and that's all through this man doing coming onto the earth. All right, and doing the working of Satan with all signs and wonders and pseudoscience and all these things, is brought forth nothing but death upon society. The foods that we eat bring forth nothing but death. There's nothing but death in the waters and the oceans and in the rivers and whatnot. There's death in the air that we breathe. There's death in the clothes that we wear. All the music the rap music and whatnot promotes death. Okay, entertainment promotes death. School system, the money system, the political system, death. All right, this man profits off of death. You see, and it says it cannot be satisfied. This man has the whole earth in his hands. All right, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? Yet this man still isn't satisfied. Okay, he has the fatness of the earth. He controls resources. He has access to some of the best lands on the earth, the best islands and whatnot. All right, he rules over the nations. Okay, he has he has the most sophisticated technology known to man up until this time, and yet this man still isn't satisfied. And why is that? Because ultimately he wants to use everything that he's been given within his blessing to promote himself up as God over the earth, okay, as the Most High over the earth, you know. So this man won't be satisfied until he reaches that status, in which the Lord Yahweh Shemashai will not let this man reach God-like status, okay. But that's because that's ultimately for the Israelites, starting with the elect. We're appointed to ultimately receive God-like status, okay, through receiving the new bodies in the new covenant, all right, and being joint heirs with the glory of Yahweh Shai. You see, we Israelites, starting with the elect, starting with the tabernacle of David, are the ones appointed according to prophecy to receive God-like status. As a matter of fact, let's back that up in Zechariah 12. All right, the house of David shall be as God. This is Zechariah chapter 12, verse 8. In that day shall the Lord Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Okay, the elect, right? The just shall live by faith, like we just read, right? It says, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David, all right, which is the elect, starting with the 144,000, shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord Yahweh before them. All right, so two things to point out. It says as the angel of the Lord Yahweh before them. Who is this angel speaking about? That's talking about Yahweh Shai. All right, that is that same angel that was with us, that brought us out of ancient Egypt. All right, that angel that was likened into a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. All right, that same angel that had power to pardon transgressions, that the Lord put his name in. Okay, that's talking about Yahweh Shai. All right, and it also says, and the house of David shall be as God. Okay, as the angel Yahweh Shai. And his word God, all right, Alahayim, Strong's H430, Alahayim. So the house of David is going to be as the Alahayim, which means what? Rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods. You see, gods, godlike ones, Works are special possessions of the Most High God. You see? And that's why Esau isn't satisfied despite the fact that he's in his blessing with the fatness of the earth. Because this is ultimately where he wants to go with this his pseudoscience and technology. He wants to be as God. He wants to be the divine one of the earth. Okay, he wants to be the Alahayim on the left hand side. You see, that's what his man is trying to go with this his agenda. You know, so but that's appointed for the Israelites, starting with the elect, starting with the tabernacle of David. We're the ones who's going to receive that godlike status under Yahweh Shai. Okay, be joint heirs with the glory of Yahweh Shai. You see, the new bodies, the new covenant. Okay, all of that rulership over the heathen nations, the fatness of the earth. Oh, okay, because just like Esau has the fatness of the earth right now and his blessing, well, guess what? When you go to Genesis, the 27th chapter, verses 28 and 29, Jacob was also promised the fatness of the earth. All right, but that's not going to come until Yahweh Shai returns. All right, and when Yahweh Shai returns, and we Israelites enter into our blessing, then Zechariah 12 and 8 is going to come to pass. We're going to be as the gods of the earth under Yahweh Shai. You see. So Habakkuk 2 verse 5 again, yea also because he, all right, Esau Edom, transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and as death, and cannot be satisfied. This man won't be satisfied until he reaches godlike status on the earth, on the left hand side, which the Lord will not allow him to achieve that. But it says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heaveth unto him all people. Yeah, so Habakkuk, our forefather, the prophet Habakkuk, he basically saw the NWO agenda, and we're reading it right here. All right, Esau basically bringing the whole world down to their knees. All right, causing the stress of nations with perplexity to gather all nations unto himself and put everybody on a digital grid and force everybody to take their charagma. All right, to be able to control society. You see? So this man, Esau Edom, will not be satisfied until he's able to achieve this goal. But guess what? The Lord is going to put a monkey wrench in his plans. All right? And the Lord's going to stop this man. All right? Because, hey, if the Lord allows this devil to get the victory and go forward with his plans, hey, no flesh will be saved. Everything will be through, including the elect, before the elect's sake, these days are being shortened. All right, so that the Lord can speed up taking this man down, as well as speeding up the elect getting the victory over this man and his image and his charagma. Let's get Psalms 37. Psalms 37 and 18 says, the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. The kingdom says, verse 19, they shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. So we this of the hopeful elect that have this word, all right, this everlasting word, and that also preach this word as well. We're not going to be ashamed of the testimony of Yahweh Shai when the evil times come. All right, when Jacob's trouble come, when all hell breaks loose, okay, when there's going to be mass perplexity throughout the earth, we're not going to be ashamed to lean upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai when that time come, because like we read in Habakkuk 2, the just shall live by his faith. You see, and as it says right here in verse 19, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. All right, let's read that in the NLT. Psalms 37 and 19. They will not be disgraced in hard times, even in famine they will have more than enough. You see that? So despite a lot of us possibly losing our jobs in 2024, going beyond, and having to lose particular comforts and luxuries and whatnot that we have now. Hey, ultimately, you know, all we have to do is just, continue to have faith in Yahweh Shemel Shai and do the works of Yahweh Shemel Shai, and the Lord's gonna take care of the rest for us, man. Like we just read. All right, Psalms 37 and 19 in the NLT again. They will not be disgraced in hard times. The Lord's not gonna forsake us when all hell breaks loose. Okay, even if we lose our jobs. And it says, even in famine, they will have more than enough. So even when all this hell is gonna break loose, when there's gonna be civil unrest and people are gonna be in uproar, bucking up against their government and whatnot, and and offing each other, hey, the Lord is gonna protect His elect and make sure that we have more than enough when these times come. You see, and all it's gonna take is just a little bit of faith. You see, so you can check out this article on your own. Because it goes into different things concerning the employment outlook going into 2024 and whatnot, and things that the Federal Reserve plans on doing as far as the interest rate and whatnot. You know, but nonetheless, that's pretty much all I had in this video. So Lord willing, this video was edifying, and until next time, shalom.